The Pfaff Ambition 610 offers superior fabric control with Pfaff's original IDT feed system. Hello, my name is George Moore, owner of Moore's Sewing Center in Southern California. Pfaff was the first company back in 1969 to come out with a dual feed system. That's called the IDT. It's an integrated system that integrates within the foot and matches the 7-point feed system. And this gives you superior fabric control. Now, the Pfaff Ambition 610 has the IDT feed system, and it's a powerhouse machine at a very affordable price. So let's talk about some of the most difficult fabrics that your machine struggles with. Like, let's say a denim seam. Okay, so it's not just sewing a thickness of denim, it's taking and folding a hem where you're coming up to 9 layers of denim. Now the IDT feed system makes it so that at no point does fabric slip, even climbing up over that seam. It does it flawlessly without you having to push or pull on the fabric. Now on the other extreme, let's take sheer fabric. This way, this is a tricot, and not only am I sewing this sheer fabric, but I'm using a zigzag and rolling the edge of it similar to what a serger does a rolled edge. Now most machines would just tunnel this right down into the fabric, but this does beautiful. And look at the edge of this. Now another difficult fabric would be lycra. And let's say I'm taking elastic. Now elastic, you have the problem is that you typically have to stretch both ends, and then how do you guide the fabric? Well, with this, I can put my elastic right in the foot. And what that does, because of the IDT, it grabs it so I can pull on that elastic and give a nice even stretch throughout. Now what about minky? Minky is so difficult to sew with on your traditional machine, but the Pfaff Ambition 610 with the IDT does it beautifully. Now, as I mentioned, Pfaff was the inventor of the dual feed system. That was back in 1969. But many other companies have added it, but the benefit of being the original, Pfaff has more of their accessories that actually work right with it, where the dual feed engages with the foot. Now here's an example. Let's take Pfaff's zipper foot. It is unique compared to any other zipper foot, but it's my favorite. And I can combine this with 29 different needle positions and move that needle right to the edge, and that feeding goes right with the foot. And so where I would use this would be like piping. I can get right up to the edge of really thick piping, and there's no slippage because of the IDT feed system right within the zipper foot. Now let's talk about stitches. In the lid, it displays 110 built-in stitches and 27 utility stitches. Now, for example, let's take a utility stitch, an overlock stitch. That's number 16. Well, I simply type in that number and it displays on the screen. And the screen shows me all the information about width and length. And if I press info, it tells me what foot to use. Now, this is an overlock stitch that's great for a knit edge, putting a ribbing around the collar, which is difficult to work with. But as you see, the IDT feed system links right in with this foot, and it controls it and gives me a beautiful results. Also, this machine has 6 one-step buttonholes, 6 different varieties. And the benefit is I use this foot and I put the button in the foot and it sizes it automatically. And I can repeat that over and over again, getting the same beautiful results. Now, one of my favorite applique stitches to use is on the Pfaff machine, and I have not found this with any other brand of machine. It's stitch number 5, which it looks like a zigzag, but it's not. It is actually at an ever so slight angle. So you can see it here. It's when I make it dense, it looks beautifully dense, but when I make it longer, you can see that angle. So I can get this really dense, and I can actually adjust the width to what I want. And I combined it with the pressure adjustment. Now, the original Pfaff machines with the IDT did not have a pressure adjustment. I love this because I want to take this and lower the pressure, and I want to take this circle. So this represents applique that's cut in curves, which is hard to have a zigzag stitch that keeps its consistency. I'm going to combine this with the automatic needle down feature, which I can press it and it automatically goes into the fabric. Then it also has it where it will end as a default in the down position. But as you see this, I'm going around this circle, and with a nice satin stitch, and with all the tools that I have with this machine, it gives me such a beautiful results. Look how consistent this is. This gives me such a beautiful, beautiful results. Now, Pfaff has always been about stitches. I remember years ago, even as a kid, how we would show all the beautiful built-in stitches on a Pfaff back in the days when other brands had to have cams. And so of the 110 stitches, there are plenty of decorative stitches. We've got quilt stitches that are like patchwork, where we can use it for crazy quilt stitches. They look like antique. They even have a stitch that looks like a hand stitch built into the machine. There are needle art stitches that look like cross stitches and all types of antique quilt patterns, and then all kinds of decorative stitches and satin stitches. Now let's take satin stitch number 70, for example. I simply select it by putting the number on the display, and the display shows me everything I need to know. Again, it shows me what foot to use, but it also recommends a tension adjustment if needed, like for decorative satin sewing. I need to have my threads loosened on the top. It shows me that. Has a recommended needle for it as well. But see, the display shows me real-time adjustments of my width and my length, and it shows me on the display as they change, and then I can adjust the density of it as well. I can even mirror the pattern, and with mirroring I can do some really neat decorative functions with it, especially with doing rows and different things on it. It's really wonderful. But there's a feature that Pfaff has had since the 50s. Back again, there's so many different things that Pfaff came out with through all these years, and it's called pattern elongation. So again, I adjusted the density just the way I wanted to, but if I was to lengthen it, I normally couldn't lengthen the pattern. Where this, I can elongate it. In fact, this has 3 different lengths without disturbing the density. So again, it gives me the ability so that I can create a beautiful border using these decorative stitches in virtually endless combinations. Then also I have the automatic tie-off. So I select this, and at the end, it automatically ties off. Now, one other thing that I love about the type of tie-off, it also has a constant reverse. So let's say I'm working with the vinyl. So I'm going back now to straight stitch sewing, and I'm working with this designer vinyl. And so I'm sewing it beautifully because it has the IDT. But the point is that I need to reverse longer in this situation. And so many of the machines today, if I press reverse, it only reverses while I hold it. Well, this one has it where I can press the reverse and it stays engaged. So I can reverse as long as I want to go and then unselect it and it comes forward. It does a beautiful job. In fact, it almost goes into the same holes there. So again, this machine is incredible. Convenient features include an automatic needle threader, which works beautifully, a quick set bobbin system that makes it much easier to install your bobbin properly. It also has a convenient open arm that you pull the attachment tray off, and now I can use the open arm for pant legs and sleeves, but also the attachment tray opens up so I can store all my different accessories. The machine has beautiful LED lighting throughout the bed of the machine and above the needles. So beautiful lighting that gives you you can see the true colors of your fabric, and that's really amazing. I also like the start-stop button. Now, many machines have this, but Pfaff has a unique feature on this here. So first of all, I can adjust the speed of both when I use a foot pedal or the start-stop just by the slider to set it at a comfortable setting. I press start to sew, but where other machines, you have to real quickly press the stop button and get kind of freaked out about it, this one I can just tap on the foot pedal and then it automatically stops. So it gives me more control, and that's another unique thing found on the Pfaff machines, and is on this Pfaff Ambition 610. I also like the fact that the Pfaff machines come with a hard shell carrying case. It's a cover that actually fits over this handle, and the handle is a nice large handle, and I can take this here and I can set it on here. Now, another thing about this is that the handle is large enough so it's much easier to grip and carry the machine, because it actually is, it's a sturdy machine, but it's not too heavy. I like the mid size of this machine. The other thing about it is that the cover is notched so that I can leave my power cords attached to use it as a dust cover, and that's something that I've not seen with any other brand. I think you agree This Pfaff Ambition machine is an amazing machine. Great fabric control, lots of decorative stitches, some great controls on the machine. You might guess that this machine sells for $2,000, $3,000, even $4,000, and that's not the case. It has a regular retail price of $1,299, and that is an amazing price for all these features. But we have it on sale right now for $999. We also are offering free shipping across the country, and we have interest-free payments on this as well. But I actually have a very special bonus for you if you take advantage of this special price. Now, this is for a limited time. I've picked out 3 of my favorite accessory feet that work in conjunction with the IDT feed system, and these all have to do with fabric guiding. So first of all, we have the 1/4 inch foot with a guide, and this gives me a great 1/4 inch guide for doing my piecing. But again, this has the dual feed that is integrated that matches perfectly with this foot, so I have a much more even feeding to do my 1/4 inch work. I also have what's called a narrow edge foot, but it has a beautiful guide on it, so I can use it for stitching the ditch on top of my seams with decorative stitches. And also, I have a foot that I've not seen with any other machine. It is a 5/8 inch seam foot. It has a guide exactly a 5/8 inch. And again, it has a slot for the dual feed, the IDT feed system, so I have perfectly even seams marked for my 5/8 seam allowance. All 3 of these feet would have a value of over $100, and I'm going to include this for a limited time free with the purchase of the Pfaff Ambition 610. So what are you waiting for? Don't wait. This is a limited offer. Click on the link to order. You can email us at customerservice@moores-so.com or give us a call at 1-800-865-9664. Bye for now.